And then G got his first month's bill. It was over $14,000. He immediately called the service provider and explained the situation, and they basically told him, "You signed a contract, sucks to suck. We want our money." He relented and set up a payment plan. He would also be required to keep the contract going until the bill was fully paid. Now, if you've never even heard of ISDN, even if you're 30 years old, I don't blame you. This was a very short-lived technology and was replaced by DSL just a couple years later, but unlike ISDN, DSL required new infrastructure, and for some reason I don't fully understand, but I have guessed is probably the way some important switch on the service provider's network was set up. The two services could not coexist in the same small regions the size of like a neighborhood, and G lived in a pretty nice neighborhood, not mansions but upper middle class. The best neighborhood our small town had to offer, in fact, and people just wanted DSL. It was the first time the internet was getting close to recognizable as it is today, cause it was so much faster than what was previously available. The folks in this neighborhood wanted those speeds and did not like being told that they couldn't have it, so, service provider calls up G and explained the situation and offered to waive the remaining amount of the bill. G told them the whole bill was bullshit and asked if they would refund what he had already paid, but they just told him to go fuck himself. Malicious compliance. G tells them he has a contract and points out that they are obligated to fulfill their end of the contract and he will be paying his bill in full, and hung up. He keeps paying. Service provider keeps getting a call from more customers wanting DSL and folks who had previously calling back more and more irate. G gets another call, then another, until service provider decides to just tell people exactly who is responsible for their neighborhood's lack of DSL service. His neighbors let loose on him, but does G care? Not at all, just keeps paying his bill. This went on for more than a year. Eventually service provider just decided to get rid of ISDN completely as it was a legitimately outdated technology, and did forgive the remainder of G's bill since they weren't fulfilling their end of their contract, but the whole thing was just wonderful.